If you've ever felt invisible in your own family, you know it's not the shouting that hurts most, it's the silence. The way your name disappears from conversations, the way your victories go unnoticed, the way your needs are met with a shrug or a sigh. I learned that lesson the summer I turned 18. Standing in the kitchen with a college acceptance letter in one hand and a trembling hope in the other. I remember the way my parents looked at me when I asked for help with tuition. My father didn't even look up from his phone. My mother just shook her head, her lips pressed into a thin line. "Be independent," she said, as if it was a blessing and not a sentence. "We've done enough. You're on your own now." I wanted to ask why. Why they'd paid for my sister's private school, her violin lessons, her summer trips to Europe, but not a single dollar for me. But I already knew the answer. Some kids are born golden, some are born invisible. I packed my bags that night, the acceptance letter folded neatly on top of my clothes. I didn't slam any doors. I didn't yell. I just left, the way you leave a room that's already empty. I worked 2 jobs, sometimes 3, scraping together enough for tuition, rent, books. I learned to live on ramen and black coffee, to study in the corners of noisy cafes, to sleep with one eye open in apartments that never really felt like home. If you're watching this right now, I want to know, where are you? What city? What time is it? Drop it in the comments. I want to know who's listening. Who's ever felt like they had to build their own life from scratch? The years blurred together, lectures, late shifts, missed holidays. My parents sent Christmas cards sometimes. My sister posted photos from her dorm room, her study abroad, her new car. I double-tapped, left a heart emoji, tried not to feel the sting. I graduated with honors, but no one was there to clap. I got my first job, my first apartment, my first taste of freedom. I learned to celebrate alone. 9 years passed. My sister Emma called to say she was getting married. "You'll come, right?" she asked, her voice bright and brittle. "It wouldn't be the same without you." I almost laughed. I almost said no. But something in her voice, maybe guilt, maybe hope, made me say yes. The wedding was everything mine wasn't, white tents, crystal glasses, a string quartet playing under the trees. My parents greeted me like a distant cousin, all polite smiles and careful distance. Emma hugged me, her eyes shining. "I'm so glad you're here," she whispered. I smiled, but it didn't reach my eyes. During the reception, my parents made a toast. My father's voice was thick with pride as he listed Emma's accomplishments, her degree, her job, her fiancé. My mother dabbed her eyes, her hand resting on Emma's arm. Then, as the applause faded, my father looked at me. "Why does it feel like something's missing?" he said, his voice just loud enough for the nearest tables to hear. The room went quiet. Emma's fiancé, Mark, stood up so fast his chair scraped the floor. His face was pale, his hands shaking. "Shut up!" he yelled, his voice cracking. "This person is—" He stopped, looking at me, his eyes wide with something like fear. I felt every eye in the room turn to me. My heart pounded, my hands cold. I didn't know what Mark was about to say, but I knew it was something my parents weren't ready to hear. The silence after Mark's outburst is the kind that makes your skin prickle. Forks freeze halfway to mouths. The string quartet falters, and even the servers stop in their tracks. My parents stare at Mark, confusion and embarrassment flickering across their faces. Emma's hand flies to her mouth, her eyes darting between her fiancé and me. I can feel the weight of every guest's gaze, the collective inhale of 100 people waiting for the next shoe to drop. Mark's chest rises and falls, his fists clenched at his sides. He looks at me, searching my face for something permission, maybe, or courage. I shake my head just slightly, a silent plea for him to let it go. But he can't. He turns to my parents, his voice trembling but loud enough for everyone to hear. "You want to know what's missing? You want to know why your family feels empty?" He gestures at me, his voice breaking. "It's because you threw away the only person who ever knew how to love without conditions." My mother's face goes white. My father's jaw tightens. Emma stands, reaching for Mark's arm, but he pulls away. "You paid for everything she ever wanted," he says, nodding at Emma. "You gave her the world. But you never gave her a reason to believe she deserved it. And you—" He points at me, his eyes shining with tears. "You built your own life from nothing. You never asked for anything. You just kept showing up, even when they made it clear you weren't wanted. The room is so quiet I can hear the wind rustling the tent flaps. I want to disappear, to melt into the grass, to run until I can't hear the echo of Mark's words. But I don't move. I stand there exposed, every scar and bruise on display. My father tries to recover, his voice brittle. "That's enough, Mark. This is a wedding, not a therapy session." Mark laughs, a harsh, broken sound. "You're right. It is a wedding. A day for family. But you don't get to ask why something's missing when you're the ones who made it that way." Emma is crying now, silent tears streaking her makeup. She looks at me, her lips trembling. "I'm sorry," she whispers. "I should have done more. I should have said something." I shake my head, my own eyes burning. "It's not your fault," I say, my voice barely above a whisper. "We all did what we had to do to survive." Someone starts to clap soft, hesitant, but it grows. A few guests stand, then more, until half the room is on their feet, applauding not for the speeches or the cake, but for the truth finally spoken aloud. My parents sit frozen, their faces masks of shock and shame. I step outside, the applause fading behind me. The air is cool, the sky streaked with the last light of day. I lean against a tree, my heart pounding, my hands shaking. Mark finds me a few minutes later, his face flushed. "I'm sorry," he says. "I couldn't let them pretend anymore." I look at him, really look at him, and for the first time I see the fear and love tangled together in his eyes. "Thank you," I say, "but you didn't have to do that for me." He shakes his head. "I didn't do it for you. I did it for Emma, for all of us." Someone had to say it. We stand in silence, the sounds of the party drifting through the trees. I think about all the years I spent trying to earn a place at a table that was never set for me. I think about the nights I lay awake, wondering what I'd done wrong, what I could do to make them love me. And I realize, standing here in the fading light, that I don't need their approval anymore. If you're still watching, tell me, have you ever had to walk away from people you loved just to save yourself? Where are you right now? What time is it? Drop it in the comments. I want to know who's listening, who's ever had to choose themselves, even when it hurt. I take a deep breath, the air cool and clean. I hear laughter from the tent, the clink of glasses, the start of a new song. Life goes on even when your heart is breaking. I straighten my shoulders, wipe my eyes, and walk back toward the lights. I'm not running anymore. I'm not hiding. I'm just free. I walk back toward the tent, the applause long faded. But the air still charged with something new, something honest. I see Emma standing alone by the dessert table, her bouquet forgotten, her eyes red but clear. She looks at me, and for the first time in years, there's no distance between us. Just two sisters, stripped of all the old stories, all the roles we were forced to play. She steps forward, her voice trembling. "I didn't know how much it hurt you," she says. "I thought you were just strong. I thought you didn't need anyone." I shake my head, a sad smile tugging at my lips. Everyone needs someone, Em, even the strong ones. Especially the strong ones. She hugs me, tight and desperate, and I let myself hold on, just for a moment. Inside, the party stumbles back to life. My parents are nowhere to be seen. I hear later that they left early. Unable to face the questions, the stares, the truth. I don't feel triumphant.
I don't feel angry.
I just feel lighter, like I finally set down a weight I'd been carrying for so long. I forgot what it was like to walk without it. Mark finds us, his tie loosened, his eyes still shining with the aftershock of what he said. "You okay?" he asks Emma, and she nods, wiping her cheeks. He turns to me, awkward but sincere. "I meant what I said. You deserved better." I nod, gratitude swelling in my chest. "Thank you for saying it out loud." I think we all needed to hear it. The rest of the night passes in a blur, dancing, laughter, the clatter of plates and glasses. I talk with cousins I haven't seen in years, with old friends who remember the girl I used to be. For the first time, I let myself be seen. Not as the forgotten sibling, but as someone who survived, who built a life from the ground up. A few hours later, as the last guests drift away and the staff begins to clear the tables, Emma finds me again. She presses something into my hand, a small envelope, sealed with a shaky line of gold wax. "Open it when you get home," she says. It's from me, no one else. I drive home in the quiet, the envelope burning a hole in my pocket. My apartment is small, but it's mine. Every book, every mug, every plant on the windowsill, a piece of the life I made for myself. I sit on the edge of my bed, the city lights flickering outside, and open the envelope. Inside is a letter written in Emma's careful script. I know I can't change the past. I know I can't give you back the years you lost or the love you deserved. But I want you to know I see you now. I see how hard you worked, how much you gave up, how much you loved us even when we didn't deserve it. I'm sorry for every time I let you stand alone. I hope you can forgive me. I hope you can let yourself be happy. Love, M. I read the letter twice, tears slipping down my cheeks. Not the bitter tears of old wounds, but something softer, something like healing. I realized that forgiveness isn't about letting them off the hook. It's about letting myself move forward, unburdened. If you're still here, still listening, I want you to know you are not invisible. You are not alone. Your story matters, even if the people closest to you never see it. Drop a comment. Where are you watching from? And what's something you've survived that made you stronger? I want to hear your story too. The next morning, I wake up to sunlight streaming through the window. The letter's still on my nightstand. I make coffee, water my plants, and sit at my desk to plan the next chapter of my life. I don't know what comes next, but I know I'll face it on my own terms. A week later, Emma calls. She wants to meet for lunch, just the two of us. We talk for hours, about childhood, about dreams, about the kind of family we want to build for ourselves. We laugh, we cry, we promise to do better. It's not perfect, but it's real. As for my parents, I don't hear from them for a long time. When they finally reach out, it's with questions. With apologies, with the slow, stumbling steps of people trying to make amends. I don't know if I'm ready to let them back in. Maybe I never will. But I know now that my worth isn't measured by their approval, or by the things they gave my sister and withheld from me. I am enough. I always was, and as I step out into the world, the sun warm on my face, I carry that truth with me, light as air, strong as steel.